Welcome back to the Healthy Business Podcast. I'm Ty King, and this is a microphone in front of my face. And I just pulled it off of the table. Great. We're off to a great start, guys.
Yeah. Well, that's what this podcast is about. Is about
real time
through
screwing
the
up.
problems.
Yeah, that's what we do. And then we problem solve. Right. With the American Business Engine, and also today with me, as always, is
Jessica Tolliver with CAM Collaborative.
And we have a very special guest today, Erik.
With TPC.
With TPC.
Welcome.
What does TPC stand for?
TPC stands for the Payroll Company, so it's pretty obvious kind of part of what our business is.
Yeah. So you should tell people like you're with the Payroll Company, and they're like, always, which one?
Which one? Yeah, every time.
That's an Arkansas thing.
Yeah.
Like you go to the doctor's building, or you go to the Payroll Company,
yes.
or you go to Massage Arkansas.
No, I love it. We've started branding it more with TPC than the Payroll Company because we do so much more. So it's TPC.
That makes sense.
It's
easier for them or people to, sort of catch on.
Yeah, we had the Payroll Company for a while, so we're trying to get away from that. We're more HR focused now, but we can talk about some of those things.
Yes, we're going to.
Yeah, that's why you're here.
That's why we're here.
Teach us.
Yes. So how are both of you, first of all?
Doing great.
Good.
Fabulous.
Nobody's running late behind on appointments or anything today.
Yes.
We are completely on time.
Yeah.
All
you,
morning.
me, both of us, man.
All
We had
morning long.
a networking event yesterday, and so it's scheduled at the same time every year. Last year it was 83 degrees. I looked up the record. Yesterday it was 97 degrees out in the sun at the plaza down in North Aurora.
But the heat index was over 100.
Yes, so we were just melting.
Yes.
Just standing there.
I did not go, but I was at the one last year, and it was much more tolerable than what yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it was. So we were like all just dying, and so by the time I packed up, half the staff was out, and so I had to go help load everything, bring everything in, set it up, break it down, break it back, and all that stuff. So I don't know. I was so tired this morning, like I slept in past the time we were supposed to be here, and I was like, "What time was that interview again?" And then it turns out you didn't remember.
I showed up
now.
I didn't know about or I forgot about.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. No, don't apologize. We had to reschedule like 3 times, and we had our things messed up, and I don't know, something happened with you. You were at.
Yes, it's one
but
of
you're
those.
here now.
We are here now. We're doing it.
Same room.
We're right across the hallway from each other, so logistics work.
Sometimes we are.
Sometimes we are.
Yeah. If you look on Google Maps, we are. But other than that, we're usually running everywhere.
No doubt. No doubt. It's the nature of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Erik, tell us about yourself. Like, what is it you do? What is it about the payroll company?
Yeah, so I mean a little bit about the payroll company. So we've been around for 20 years. We are we're an independent provider. We're not a national provider. We're not publicly traded. So that affords us a lot more control of what we're doing. We have the tenure. We don't have the turnover in our staff. We don't have the turnover in our clients either. We're over 99% in both of those areas over a 10-year span. So it's highly unusual in our market to have that element of what we have to offer. So you have that, but I mean the services that we're offering, we're an enterprise level employee management suite. So it's anything from recruiting and applicant tracking to electronic onboarding employees instead of going through that paper process. Then of course payroll. We have a full-blown HR suite, so HRS platform to house all the employee information in. Timekeeping, benefits administration. We have an LMS platform and a few other performance management type solutions. But the biggest thing that we're really proud of at this point in time is I guess for the general public, we would say that it's kind of a HR consulting type thing. It's very hands-on, so for people that either lack in that department or just don't have that department, we're able to fill those shoes. So we originally designed it for small business, but what we're finding is a lot of large organizations with hundreds of employees are completely understaffed, and we can come in for just the margin of a price without really having to worry about turnover in those positions, because once we fill that spot, then it's steady, it's constant.
Interesting.
So it doesn't turn over.
I think the biggest question I had, one of the reasons I was so excited for you to come on, is we really focus on the entrepreneur, the beginnings of the businesses, how to really navigate that. At what point does a business want to look at a service like yours? At what point, how many do they need to have it, whether they're ready for employees or multiple employees, or what does that level look like? When do people need to start having you on their radar?
Yeah, so that's a good question. There's multiple factors involved. So I would say number one, it's either they're already outsourcing with someone and there's some pain there. You know, they're not getting what they need from the service, and so it's always a good situation for us in particular. But if they're looking at growth and they're doing everything manual, that's another big thing. So they're looking to outsource and kind of streamline those processes. And I would say the other is what we're going to run up against, and this is going to hit pretty much any organization that's been around for any period of time, and it doesn't even take that really, but our baby boomers are about to be retiring, and we're already starting to see that. And so
I know they're silver tsunami. That's what they're calling
yeah, the silver. I've never heard of that.
Wow.
I like that. So, but yeah, you know, that's what we're looking at, and you know, a lot of that generation likes hanging on to a lot of their old processes, and you know, we've been doing it this way for 100 years, so let's keep doing it, kind of thing. But the people that are coming in behind those folks are much younger, and you know, they want technology, they want streamline, they want everything in one place, and, you know, just overall become more efficient. But those are just a handful of, I would say, scenarios that we run up against where people might need to use
So,
us.
do you have like a la carte services? Can you say, I just need help with payroll, and because I don't know how to pull out taxes or whatever the situation may be? Can you start out small and then start growing with the business suites with that?
For sure, yeah, and it's, I'm glad you brought that up. So we do have an enterprise level offering, so we can handle universities, we can handle large healthcare organizations, but we can also scale it down to the guy mowing lawns that doesn't want to take care of his payroll taxes, that you know, that wants an automated timekeeping system. So we can just strip it down to where it's just basic HR and payroll, or if they need the timekeeping in on top of that, that's all they need. Then for whatever reason, if they grow it, I've actually brought a gentleman on, I think it was just before COVID, he had 10 employees, ended up getting some type of government contract, and just you fast forward over the next 3 years, he's up to 400 employees. And so we're able to grow with that client through that whole entire process. You know, it takes a lot of communication to make that happen, because if they don't communicate, then we're still working as your 10 employees instead of handling all the compliance and things as if you were 300 or 400. So it does take communication, but that's where we shine. So it's I'm constantly in touch with my clients. We don't sell them and just forget about them and ride off in the sunset with a commission check. I mean, we hang in there with them, check in on them. So yeah, it's kind of a different experience from that standpoint.
And as they gain in success, it's kind of a great success story for you guys too, as well, because you're helping out in some of that growth.
Yeah, and I will say for that one in particular, I would just call him all the time. I would see his product somewhere, and I would call him and just like, man, just hats off, man.
Yeah,
that's all you're killing it. Good job, man. So it was just I'm a part of that, so it just kind of made me pat myself on the back, pat him on the back. But yeah, it was just kind of a good situation for sure.
So how does the HR piece work in that? I don't know what you guys have to approach it. So does it, somebody comes in and they help with the hiring process or the onboarding? I know like lots of different people that are calling themselves HR are a little different. Some come in and they try to gather everybody as a group, and then they go through the Enneagram and try to figure out whose personality has what. And it's like, I don't know if that's really qualified.
That was actually my next question also, because HR is a spectrum. I mean, when I was starting out working and there was an HR person, that was where you went when someone was harassing you. So yeah, can you break down a little bit of what do you mean by HR?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And so, we're heavily involved in the HR community, and there's a few organizations here in Central Arkansas that, there's people helping each other out. We have luncheons, we have conferences, and so, as HR professionals, you're able to bounce things off of each other, or if there's job openings, you're able to help each other out, those types of things. But with HR, it was a while ago, and I think employers are still looking at it this way. But HR is a position that I need because I'm big enough to where I need it. And it is kind of looked at as, they're just putting out fires between employee disputes and different things like that, but they have so much more on their plate. And in most instances that we walk into, they don't have time to be proactive in protecting the business and protecting the employees. And, so it's, and that's what we're seeing. And if you're not being proactive in this environment now, you could potentially get audited, you could get sued, and really, be in a bad spot. So yeah, I mean, the HR position is much more important. It's much more involved because right now with all the employee turnover, you need retention. So if you don't have retention,
Well, I like the compliance part as well, because as a small business owner, I wear all the hats. And as you
Right,
start to
yeah.
grow a little bit, you want to be able to take care of your employees, but I don't have time to read every HR rule, law, legislation change that
don't.
comes out. And it's very easy for a small business to find themselves out of compliance.
Right. Well, and for our, like in our piece in particular, all the people, we call it TPC Vision is what we call that piece of our business, and all those people, they're senior firm certified and beyond in HR, and it's just the education. I mean, I think they have between the four of them, they have over 6 years experience, whether it's healthcare, banking, so it's very diverse, and so for an employer to have all that knowledge in their HR department, whether you already have somebody in that role or not.
They can't afford to hire someone that qualified
Yes.
as a small business,
Yes.
but by utilizing a service like this, they can have that level of education, that level of knowledge and wisdom in their small business. So here's a question. Do you do all of it remotely, or do you have any people that go on site, or how does that work?
Yeah, another good question. So we pride in being an independent provider, and just with kind of our mentality, we like to be hands-on as much as possible. And COVID just really put a damper on that. And I think people are so used to doing things virtual now, they almost prefer it in a way, especially when it comes training or upkeeping. But now I think we're still trying to get back into that, especially when we bring a new client on, because one of the things that we do is we come in and perform a full-blown HR audit on your whole entire business, okay? And so then as we find inefficiencies or things that just simply aren't done, we go in and we build a list of priorities, and if you hadn't touched your handbook in 15 years, that's probably what we need to start. So that's kind of how we work there. Then we build the game plan, throughout the whole entire year. So month to month, there's game plan, and it's just the communication level is high. Like it gives me kind of a warm and fuzzy, but it is just insane how much communication is going on between them and the client. So yeah, no, it's a good service.
Excellent.
For sure. So tell us about Erik. How did Erik get started in all this?
Erik went on a wild journey of trying to figure out what he wanted to do when
Don't
he
we
grew
all?
up.
Yeah.
So for me, I grew up in South Arkansas. It was a small town, Rising. It's just for the people that are listening to this in Arkansas. It's it's just south of Little Rock and then south of Pine Bluff, about an hour from Little Rock. But anyway, went to the University of Central Arkansas. Got my accounting degree. I did that for a year and some change, and I found out real quick that I'm a little bit more social than what the job was allowing me to be. So I at that point I knew I wanted to get in some type of sales role, and with a resume in the recession with nothing but a year and a half of accounting experience, it was really tough to get a sales job. So I just kind of bounced around and just kind of grabbed the first thing I could grab, and then it just led me here. And I've been with the company now for 5 years, so it's had no urgency of getting out of this anytime soon. No, it's a great company, good culture.
But I imagine your degree helps you in what you're doing now, because
sure,
as we're talking to clients about what it is that you're selling, you also understand what it is behind the scenes.
True, and it's like anything. If you don't use it, you do tend to lose it. But there's a foundation there that I can fall back on. But I don't use it very much.
So I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to step out. So, what, commercial break? Like, because you're going to have to edit me walking in front of the camera.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. And I look forward to learning more about you and listening to the rest of the podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by.
No, I like this arrangement. It's kinda cool.
All right.
So you got out of college, had your degree, you found this job after a few others, right?
Right. Yeah.
So what makes you stick with TPC?
I mentioned this a little bit ago. I mean, it's just it comes down to the culture. I mean, it really is a family. We haven't quite doubled since I've joined the team, but it's getting close. But it's just, when I started, you just know everybody, you know everything about them, and it's still that way. We're just growing and we're hiring more people, so we'll eventually get to know them too. But our owners are really good about keeping everybody in touch, and even though we're not all in the same office, I mean, anytime we have a birthday cake every single month.
Yeah.
They have that in Springfield. We won't get but they send us a picture of it every time. I keep telling them, I just like, hey, just put it in a box, send it to us.
Yeah, there you go.
That way I can have at least an August birthday cake for myself. But But yeah, our Little Rock office is staffed up now too, so we're actually doing our full-blown processing here to where we used to run everything out of Springfield. So that's it's been a big thing, especially locally. People that still like the paper checks and stuff, they can come by the office and grab those and distribute them. But yeah, TBC's been great to me, and it's hope to stay around for
Awesome.
many more years.
Yeah.
So.
So we often talk about, part of being like a healthy business or being a part of a healthy business is also taking care of yourself. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be able to perform the way you need to in the business, and it just sort of damages both sides, and it just decreases until you crash and burn. So how do you balance your professional life and when you're off the clock and you're doing your own thing? I know you said you're a social person. So is it?
Oh, it drives my wife crazy.
Do you continue to go out there and hang out with more people? And
I do at times. I do at times. I think if I give my wife enough of a notice that I can do, the happy hour and different things like that. We acquired a kiddo through COVID, so that's kind of slowed down the after hour stuff a little bit. But no, I mean, just as long as we can communicate, and she'll let me go out and do things like that from time to time. And but yeah, I mean, it's for me. I do thrive on being I'm an extroverted person. And I do thrive on that. It feeds me. It allows me to get up every day and do what I do. So COVID was a little bit of a strain for us people that like to get out and chit chat and mingle and different things like that.
Zoom just doesn't quite do it.
No. I'm so sick of that. But we still have to use it as part of life now.
Yeah,
so
it is now, right?
I don't know if I completely answered your question.
Yeah, well, what do you do? I guess to disconnect from work life. You wood shop. I don't know. Do you go fishing?
So my wife and I we live in a neighborhood here in Little Rock where it's just a lot of walkability. You can walk to restaurants and bars. We can walk to the grocery store. So a large part of what we do to unwind on a day-to-day basis is, our family takes 2 or 3 walks a day. I know it's 100 degrees outside, but we still do it. We don't go as far, but it just gives us a chance to bond, just get out of the house, and just kind of unwind from the day. And but yeah, I would say on a daily basis that's what we do. But we're always trying to look for a trip or something to plan, just to kind of escape this, right? It's we don't get to do it a lot, but we try to. We have a little trip coming up with the family, and we're gonna go down to Florida and just try to unwind a little bit. So yeah, that's as far as family, that's what we do. For me personally, I like to. Not everybody's outlet is fitness, but I like to. I like to get up early in the morning, which hasn't been conducive over the last couple of years, but I like getting up early and it just sets my mind right. I don't think about it all day. It makes me sleep like a baby. So
you hit the gym early in the morning?
Yeah, I feel like when you do it early, I just feel like you've got such a head start on everybody. It's just you get in there and it's just like I get back. Sometimes my family's not awake yet.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are, but it's just like I got that part of my day over with.
Yeah.
It's because that's that can really, especially if you're trying to do it in lunch, you can have a lunch meeting instead of doing the workout. So anyway.
Yep, for sure. Great thing about leaving this area is there are so many different outdoor recreational type of things that you can actually go out there and do. And so I live in Conway, which is there's a few things. I've got a bike trail behind my house. That's been the most active part that me and my daughter take. Get home, she wants to run down there, but then you end up beside Andy's, and then she wants to get ice cream.
Well, that's Salem, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or on Dave Ward.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. No, it's.
So that's. But this area has so much the pump track. I don't know if you've visited that yet. That's awesome. And then of course the pinnacle that you can hike.
There is a lot to do.
Yeah.
I probably used to do more things like that, but we're already talking about we used to fish a lot. My wife and I did, especially during COVID because we just had a little bit extra time. But we used to fish a lot. We used to hike a lot, and but I would say probably next year we'll start getting back into a lot of those things. But yeah, we do a lot of outdoor activities, I would say.
Yeah. So most of your business, like you say, you got a 99% retention rate over 10 years. That's huge.
Yep.
So I'm sure a lot of that is being social, keeping in contact, and building great relationships with your clients, and providing something that's obviously of value to them because that's why they stick with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
but you also get to play kind of counselor, sort of at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah, no, you are right. It's kind of a catch-all of,
Yeah.
of duties there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's but yeah, I mean that's one of the unique things that we do is us as advisors, that our upper management and our ownership, they do cherish relationships and they like building relationships, and so they highly encourage us to stay involved, and they actually pay us residual to stay in front of that client. So if we maintain that relationship, and we obviously get compensated for that, and so it really helps. So I mean, I really feel in that respect they just kind of have it figured out. And but yeah, no, that's a lot to do with our success, and really it's just the client, or not the clientele, but our staff that we have. It's just they all come from some sort of background in what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so we usually don't get people to where we're building them from the ground up. They come to us with experience, and so that's a real help too. And so, not everybody's work environment is as good as what we have at TPC. So usually when we bring people in, we take care of them, and they stay. That's a big part of it.
That's awesome. And TPC itself is a Arkansas-born business, right? Or
No,
was it
actually,
out of
yeah.
state?
Yeah, so it started in Springfield, Missouri.
Okay.
So we're actually 21 years in now. But we started with Jeremy in Northwest Arkansas, and he's actually been with the company for 17 years. So that has given us an Arkansas presence for 17 years. And then from Northwest Arkansas, we started Little Rock Market with Nick. Then we're looking to grow this market. Then I came in with Nick, and so it's just been a good ride. We're still trying to build the market. Still a lot of people that don't know about us. I mean, we don't have a marketing budget like a large company. So we're just doing everything we can do. We try to get involved with the community, our nonprofits. Again, I say we're very involved with the HR community. So there's quite a few associations that we're involved with there, and we've been on the board with them, and we sponsor things. So it's we're just trying to give back. We're doing it a little bit more organically, so it just takes a little longer.
So how do you feel what's unique about doing business in Arkansas?
They always say you have 3 degrees of separation, but in Arkansas you probably have 1. And I would say, it's, I'm not going to say it's ever a bad thing, but it's just so crazy. Like, you can just have a conversation with anybody walking down the street, and if you ask enough questions, you'll have some type of connection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, whether it's your relative or just you went to college with
somebody
somebody.
you know.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that is a good thing. I mean, you don't have to dig too far to really, if you're focused in on a particular prospect or trying to build a partnership with a certain person, it just takes a few phone calls. And especially with LinkedIn and things like that now, you can really stalk people or whatever you want to call it. I mean, you can. It takes no time to really.
Employers are doing it now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Before you come in to interview, it's like they're definitely checking your social media and making sure.
Everybody's completely leveraging.
Oh yeah.
All the technology out there for sure.
Be careful what you post.
Yes.
How you're living your life out there.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, if somebody were to get in contact with you or TPC, how would they do that?
So with TPC, morethanpayroll.com is our website. It lists out all of our services, all of our locations, and I would say, as far as reaching out to me in particular, my email is Erik, and that's ERIK @thepayrollco.com. And then a number to reach out to is 501-658-8081. But yeah, just reach out, and that's primarily all my contact information. But if there's something in particular that you need, I can make that happen.
So you do consultations, that type
Absolutely,
of thing. They can call you up and say, "Hey, I think I need this."
Yeah, and that's that's a good point. So it's just, in what we do, usually what we're providing is not an overnight change.
Mm-hmm.
I go into every meeting understanding that. So it's not a high pressure thing. I'm there to educate, because what I tell people all the time, especially with HR consulting piece, you don't know what you don't know. I'm not trying to insult you. It's just you don't know what you don't know. And most of the time people, they completely get it. So it's but yes, always open to a meeting, short phone conversations. If you're working for a company that's in change mode and you need a vendor to discuss things with, yeah, for sure reach out to us and make it happen.
Great. Well, Erik, thanks for being here.
You bet, man. Well, I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, for sure. As you're growing and as you're, I guess things are changing all the time.
All the time.
So,
Never be complacent,
that's
especially
sort of-
this day and age. man.
Yes.
It's just everything's evolving.
That's how we sort of treat the podcast itself here in the room, because things every week we do something different. So there's a new improvement. Either we put soundproofing in, or we added another light too.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
And so it's constantly, like you said, it doesn't happen overnight. You're not a professional overnight. It takes time, development, experience.
Well, hey, if you're not, the next person is evolving, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. You taught somebody else something.
Exactly.
I'm not doing what that guy did.
Yeah, for sure.
If you are watching this on YouTube, then you can also find this as an audio podcast on any of your audio podcast distribution services, from Apple's podcast to Google Podcasts, Podbean, Podcatcher, all the ones that are out there. There's hundreds of them. I don't know. Everybody uses something different. If you're also if you're an audio listener, you can also catch us on YouTube. Look up the Healthy Business Podcast, and you should be able to see our channel there with plenty of videos. We're quickly approaching that 30 episode mark, which when they say the algorithm of YouTube is you have to have 30 videos before you really start catching your audience.
Well, here we go.
So we're almost there. So we'll see. Once the 30 hits, and then we'll continue.
Congratulations, my
doing
friend.
that. Oh, well, thanks.
Hard
Yeah.
work.
It's definitely challenging that much. So Jessica says bye. She had to go deal with a client, and until next time, if you want to say bye.
See you guys later.
Yeah.
Hopefully you have me on here soon. So I'd love to talk to everybody again. But hey, I really appreciate
for sure.
it. Yeah,
Hey, no problem,
for sure.
Erik.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on.
You bet.
Until next time, keep your business healthy.